And we're back.
And we're back. And last night we went to see the new film, Is God Is?
Yep.
And that is written and directed by Aleshea Harris from the 2018 play that she wrote. So she's a playwright, she's a director. Is God Is. I always love to see something that's both written and directed by the same person. That way you know you're getting a really complete vision. It's also super cool knowing that she's a playwright, and that definitely feels on brand with like everything I'm trying to understand about this movie. Feels literary. It feels like there's layers, and so I'm looking forward to discussing all this. Squirrel, do you want to take it from here? Do you want to start us off with
okay.
discussion?
Well, I think we both went in cold. I hadn't even seen a trailer for this film, so in my brain, Is God Is, I was like, are we gonna get some sort of, tale of olden monks in a church or something? I was like, what is this gonna be? And then when you said, oh no, it's black women, directed by a black woman, written by a black. I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're gonna
The same
get.
black woman, yes.
and it's like the opening gambit of two small black girls. Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure what year it was supposed to be because they are dressed like they're in the 1950s, but I guess it's maybe the 80s or 90s because they're in their 20s now, and I think it's set now.
It's hard to know. It is a little difficult, and I feel like, again, that's in the sort of like literary and sort of like, I don't know, allegorical or whatever kind of vibe of, I feel like it feels a little out of time.
Right.
Like it goes into that Southern Gothic kind of thing.
Right.
That like, could be any
sure
time. And I don't think were cell phones being used in this movie?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't remember seeing anybody on a cell phone.
So...
But then they had modern cars mixed with old car. Anyway, it was so maybe that was on purpose. I liked it of like, yeah, it's out of time. Like it could be any time, really.
Yeah.
Especially that this film could be a Western. And at one point, somebody, it was the wife who is kind of terrified and about to leave the husband, is going to have to make sure his closet's organized, and she put cowboy hats on a shelf. And nobody wears a cowboy hat in this film, but I'm like, oh, is that a little subtle nod to this is kind of a revenge cowboy film from ye olden times? You could just transport everybody into the Old West. It's like vengeance.
Well, okay. Oh, and by the way, this our channel is spoilers only. And
if you're new.
So we're totally just spoiling stuff left and right. This is a post-movie discussion. Our philosophy is go see movies.
Yeah.
And then discuss them.
We're team movie.
Whether they're good or bad, go see as many as you can. Not sponsored, but Regal Unlimited. You can see multiple movies in a day. You can see multiple movies all throughout the month, all for $20-something. So if you like seeing movies in the movie theater, that's a really good way to get your money's worth. And nobody seems to be patting down your bags to see if you've got your own popcorn,
right,
or anything like that. So yeah, we're sort of getting towards the end and the thing you're saying, but similarly, then when his foot comes out of the car at the end, and it's kind of like a little boat shoe or something like that,
right?
But it's not unlike cowboy boots with spurs,
right?
If we're saying like Western style, like I think was that often like the view in a Western is like,
oh yeah,
foot, boot,
and keeping sort of the villain of the piece, like you don't see his face till we are at the confrontation near the end. It's like, oh, now we get to see him. There's mention of him, how awful he is. You stay away. What are you girls doing trying to track down your daddy?
Right.
He's an awful man. Just steer clear. And it's like, oh yeah, this is all tropes from Western. Like, if you're out for vengeance, you better dig 2 graves because it'll be you and the person you're tracking down to kill. That kind of thing.
And like
deep, man.
There, as I was I did see there's a video out there with Aleshea Harris discussing this.
Oh.
And so I was like, and I didn't watch it yet because I do want to have a very pure discussion. Like we don't talk to each other before we start filming. We don't read other people's reviews. We just go see the movie and then just like talk about how we felt. So after this review, I want to hear what she has to say about it. But I feel like, I want to just see how close we can get on our own. So
if you're new here and you're like, what are these two just talking about movies? Is that all they do? Yeah, that's all we did. That's why
we don't rate movies.
That's why this channel started, is we love to talk about the movies after we saw them. So the work we do is, it is unbelievably difficult to not talk to you on the drive home about the film we just saw. We have to save it up for now.
Right. We used to just blab to each other on the way home, and now we like save it for
now. So I think our 1,600 something subscribers know that it's kind of fun when we're like, sometimes we don't see eye to eye, and sometimes I get completely different things out of the film than you do. And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So to me, this was all, this is a story about Anaya being released from the ties of kind of like the bittersweetness of leaving the twin that was kind of in a way keeping her tied to tragedy in her life and a sort of a warlike nature. Like, okay, so twins, kind of like just in Sinners, we had twins, and twins often symbolize this like balance of opposing forces, and it definitely felt like Racine, like there's something near the end where she's even like, were you thinking to herself maybe like, were you using what happened to me as just almost an excuse to be as violent or warlike as you wanted to be? And like that's definitely something that I feel like comes from the father.
Yeah.
And so I do feel like this is Anaya's story, really. And yet I felt like the characters were almost felt like stand-ins for something older, like something I'm like writing a folktale, myth, biblical, fairy tale. All of it felt like its own, we're seeing trailers for the Odyssey, like it felt like its own Odyssey to me. And like sometimes the quirks of the different characters they meet along the way, I'm like, am I supposed to be understanding who this is in literature? Like who Chuck Hall, the lawyer without the tongue.
Oh, right.
Like, is this a mythological character? And so I'm trying to like just pull apart like any kind of understanding I can get of this. But I felt like the movie was interesting. It was kind of a difficult watch. It was pretty brutal.
Sure. When it gets going, it is. And so I guess, sorry, you told me to break it down.
Yes.
But it is a very simple, and some of the best films have a simple premise of two girls bonded by trauma. And like you said, they kind of stick together, coming across like we look out for each other. And we almost have this psychic shorthand. With looks. I liked how they did that in the film, of just looking at each other. Then they got subtitles of what they're saying just from their looks. I'm like, oh, that's well done. That's different.
I felt like it was more than... I think it was played up as more than almost psychic shorthand. I think it was like genuine.
Like, we can hear each other's thoughts. Yeah. And
that's how I took it, at least.
So two girls, two sisters bonded by trauma. Mm-hmm. We slowly at the start get to find out what that trauma was, and it's horrific, fire related. With the dad is just, I don't know, psychotic. He's just awful. And then we see, they're grown up and they're dealing with their life, which isn't great. and then find out
they've been through the foster system.
Been through the foster care system, and we learn through the film that, you know, they've had to deal with violence a lot from people in foster care. So it's like they have grown up in a tough situation.
And they're like cleaning a call center or something like that.
Yeah, with posh people working there that look at them with like, oh, you've got burns, and that aesthetic of like, oh, if you're different, ugh. And I recoil, like she says, you dropped something, it was a scarf, and she's trying to hand her a scarf with her burnt hand. Like, one sister has a burnt arm.
Right.
And the other one is pretty much full face burn from this fire event.
Yes.
And yeah, it's like, there's some great makeup work. I fully believe that. And I did notice on, wait, what are the girls' names again?
Racine and Anaya.
So was it Anaya with the burnt arm?
No.
So that was Racine. So Racine, who is sort of the angrier one, and is quick to be like, we're going on a vengeance tour. But I noticed...
Vengeance tour? Yes, sign me up.
I noticed, like, her hand is so badly burned that two of the fingers were welded together. And it was like, oh, yikes, you have to deal with that through your life, too. That's just every time you try and reach for something, you're going to be reminded of, oh, I have been disfigured by someone.
And this is just like a little aside here, but just the thought of like, you know, anytime you reach like your connection, they're both dealing with the reaction of others. And Anaya has the really painful, like, people feeling like people don't even want to like look at her or whatever. Right. But even Racine, yes, like you realize like there's a lot of situations in life when you have to reach your hand out, you know, well, I guess, you know, nowadays we don't hand money back and forth as much as we used to.
Not anymore.
But I remember that feeling of like, you know, when you reach your arm out and it's like this almost intimate moment between strangers. And if your whole story of tragedy is on display in that reach, you know. Anyway, go ahead.
And yeah, very true. And so we instantly get to know in the space of a few minutes, like, these girls have had it rough. And then they get a message that their mom, who they thought had passed, is still alive and looking out to talk to them. Like, come see me. And once they meet their mom, Vivica A. Fox, back again, Independence Day. Oh, there's the thumbnail. But that's what I remember her from. So yeah, she's like almost like a like gangster, like kind of the way they enter the room, and she has two women braiding her hair, and it's like, come forward and talk to me, like you're talking to the Dawn from The Godfather almost. Like, whoa, this is a powerful woman, but she's horribly burned.
Right. And I kind of took it as like a palace or something kind of situation. Similar vibe, you know, with like that, you know, because having sort of like flanked by attendants, you know, kind of similar to like being fanned or just having any kind of, And then go ahead.
And then essentially the plot is the mom's dying and she's like, your daddy did this to me, and tells them the story of him setting fire to her in the bathtub, and the girls are burned because they tried to help her and reached for her to try and save her, and the mom is like, go kill your daddy. And that's it. Simple plot. Just go kill your daddy. You have to go find him. I don't know where he is. Here's the last known place I know. And the adventure is off as they definitely travel across America. We do get a little montage of like going through different states, and they jump out the car to stand by the welcome to Tennessee and welcome to Virginia signs, like, so they're going pretty far.
Right. In a car that like the camera definitely takes time to show. Like maybe the fender is zip tied on or something like that. It's
a car that's, you know, it's a risky thing to take across country. It's like, poor little thing, this poor, I don't know what it was, an old Cadillac or something. But it reminded me when they start visiting people, the last known, like, oh, you knew our dad. It was very, oh brother, where art thou? Which isn't that a retelling of the
Oh, is it the Odyssey or something?
Yeah, that's probably a retelling. Yeah, because it has a Cyclops, John Goodman with his eye patch. So yeah, so that's a whole retelling. So it felt very similar to that of like we are meeting some kooky character actors and people that are obsessed with their daddy, talking about him. Of like, if you see him, I kept some of his stuff. Like his personality suggests like he is, I don't know, super violent, but also kind of super charming. And people mention like he has such a great smile, and we see close-ups of his smile, but we don't get to see his face. And yeah, it was just they really bigged this guy up of stay away from him, and I really wondered like what is he going to be like when they finally meet him?
Right.
Like what is this guy? And he is super charming and super like well mannered and like calm, and you think this guy is just, and then yeah, explosive violence will happen. You're like, oh, I get it. He's just got real massive anger issues and thinks he is in control always. Like, I control this situation. You just think you do because you're holding a stone in a sock and you might bash me. But
right.
Yeah, he staying that cool and calm and collected. I'm like, oh, he is terrifying just as a character. The actor's great. I remember him from. Thumbnail, please.
You have to say what it is first.
The Predator, I think it's one of the sequels to the Predator movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's a bad guy, sort of, in The Predator, which I liked him in that because he's kind of gray area bad guy that I was like, oh, I hope this guy survives past all this sci-fi nonsense. And no, he doesn't. But it's like, no, because he's a great character actor.
So you're talking about Sterling K. Brown?
Sterling K. Brown, thank you. Yes.
And I think that I became aware of him as, like, I didn't really watch This Is Us, but it resulted in Sterling K. Brown being on a lot of, like, interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I would just keep seeing him getting interviewed, and he's so charming and kind and grounded kind of person. Just seems like one of the top people. You know what I
so
mean?
he must be having.
He just seems like a fantastic human.
He must be having a lot of fun to play characters like this. Where it's
I was like, well, that's some acting. Because how are you not oozing? I think one of his skills is just being able to like, just go there like for like grief or whatever in a scene, and so just seeing him be terrifying
and have a look in his eyes like, you know I'm right. You know what I'm saying is right, even if it's not. The characters in the film are like, he talks someone out of holding a big stone in a socket, which that's just a terrifying weapon to me.
Yeah.
Like, that looks like it means business. Like, don't swing that at my face, which, again, in this film, that happens a lot. So strap in and be prepared for some crazy violence, Tarantino style.
Yeah, it definitely, it did. Tarantino is another that kind of came to mind. So again, I was like I can't quite puzzle it out, so I wanna watch her discussion after this. But sure, I just feel like these are like stand-ins for like mythological characters or fairy tale, folktale. I do know that Aleshea Harris has a tattoo. I didn't see her talk about this, but I saw a little bit of a footage of her talking about it. She has a tattoo that references Jack and the Beanstalk. So, and how you can build something out of nothing, and that she uses that in her work. So I was like, so knowing that she's into stuff like that, it makes me think about like, the rock in the sock.
Yeah.
Is not unlike David.
Sure.
With the slingshot. David and Goliath, and these like girls coming to just like take down these more powerful people, the people that have put them in this situation, or are supporting someone who's put them in this situation, or they're benefiting from the situation, and just whacking them.
And I did like there is a technique in this film that when we meet a new character, they are the narrator. I love that. Like when it cuts to, You know, the first set of people in the little church where they're like, we have an address and this is where my daddy used to be. And then they pull up and they're like, I didn't know it was going to be a church. Oh no, we're on a road trip of vengeance.
Right.
And it's like, a church? I don't know if I want to go through with this. And when they walk in, there's a whole cast of kooky churchgoers that are not exactly the talking in tongues and snake charming kind of, but it's close, that they are acting like the devil's in here, and they all flop down in what, like choreographed, when they all like, I've expelled the devil, they all go into the pews at once, like, oh yes, he's gone.
And there's the sense that like healing could happen.
But when we meet those characters, I'm like, oh, we're off and running on this journey. And the preacher, as it were, she is the one that was enamored with the dad, and I've already forgotten my point where I was going. I was like, now remembering the film, going like,
you were talking about the narration.
Oh yeah, and it's her. Yeah, it's what would you call her? Like not preacher, maybe.
Yeah,
or preacher, but yeah,
minister, pastor,
the
preacher.
minister. Yeah, that's the word. That's the word I was searching for in my squirrely brain. Minister, and I noticed like, oh, thank you. It's her voice, and then that suddenly picked up with,
Does that happen with Chuck Hall?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, the lawyer too. Wait, and he can't even
talk. So it was crazy to hear his narration, and then it's like mentioning like when he pulled out my tongue, I was like, oh no, this guy.
Yes. Well, yeah, and notice that her character, let's see, played by Erika Alexander, the minister type person. Her name is Divine.
Oh.
And then when you get to the next, like the wife, played by Janelle Monáe, I think she's called Angie, but it's like Angela. So there's Angel. So we have Divine.
Okay.
Angel. So again, like sorry, this whole conversation is a little disorganized, but like, does he represent?
Just like we're talking about the movie on the drive home.
Does, Sterling K. Brown represent, does he represent something biblical like the devil, or is it like Hades and,
right.
Something
very
mythological,
possibly.
or like Ares, or like, does he represent like a dragon, with fire, this, the little shrine left behind for him too, with his like deodorant or whatever, it's like, it's almost like in mythology how these gods move from, they're always like moving from, like say Zeus is always having like new children,
right.
and stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
So,
yeah, he's like an angry god. And they do mention like their mom is God because she created us. So
right.
there is this whole religious metaphor running throughout the film. So here's my only one problem with the film.
Okay.
And it's like the character of Angela, when we meet her, she is ready to leave this man.
Yeah.
She realized like, he is awful. He's terrible. It's not going to end well. I'm probably going to get murdered by him, even though we have a good life, posh house, lots of things. And we hear her narration of like, I've got to cook and I've got to clean and everything's got to be neat when he gets back. And I'm like, oh
right.
gosh, that's terrifying. But she is planning to go. She's like, I'm out. Mm-hmm. This is not anymore. Not for me. I'm packing my bags. And then I liked how she yelled for the teenage sons, come help me put my bags in the
right.
car. Like, just get out here.
Right.
And they're like, what are you yelling about? So it seems to me she never yells. And that was like her first, like, just get out here. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But then she's making her break for it. And then meets our protagonists. They're just sat in the road blocking her.
Right.
And I thought for sure, oh, she's going to explain, I'm out. I'm trying to get away from him. I thought she was going to team up with them. Like,
yes.
I'd be here for it. Like, yes, team of women against this guy. Bring
right.
it. And instead, this is when they cross the line and kill her. And I was like, oh no. And I was really with one of the characters that looks horrified. Again, you have to remind me, Racine. What was her name?
Anaya looks horrified.
Anaya is just like shocked and terrified and horrified that we are crossing a line. We are now murdering people and it's really happening. And it's like, and they do it off camera and you just hear the sounds. And I'm like, oh, that is yeah, we don't need to see it, but hearing it's kind of worse. It was like, oh no, she's like hitting her with the rocking a sock behind the car. And to me, it's like, yeah, we have now crossed that line. There's no going back. And sadly, yeah, she was trying to escape him too.
Right. There's a lot of stuff about that scene. For one thing, she could have just driven around
That's true.
pretty easily.
It was a pretty good car that could have handled off-road.
Because I kept looking, the grass even looks like the road looks level on either side.
Right.
But I think it's it's not about going around. It's about the confrontation, and that's why this feels like more mythological or something.
Yeah.
And
and a little bit stature of, I'm sorry, you're on our private road. I'm not going around you on the grass. You need to get out of my way because I'm rich,
right.
kind of vibe.
I felt like the spitting in the face. I kind of did what I'm with you. I sort of felt like when she spat in Racine's face. I was like, okay, I was with you as a character until this moment, and that but then I thought that a final blow, the final killing blow or whatever, was spared on Angie. So because she said you're lucky my sister's here.
Right.
So I kept thinking there was a chance that Janelle Monáe's character was going to factor in again one more time.
She would just be really messed up.
I also like the characterization of the two boys, Scotch and Riley. And they think they mistake these girls, their half sisters, as strippers, and that whole sequence. But one of them is clearly the sweeter twin or whatever. He says goodbye to his mom. I love you. Who knows? Have these boys not been abused in any way? Clearly, the mom is experiencing some form of abuse, and they oblivious to it.
But one of the sons does say, "When was the last time we had fun in this house?" So it could be maybe they aren't abused in a way of physically, but mentally they're just You're supposed to be seen and not heard and get good grades or else.
Right. And somehow they thought their dad would send strippers to them or whatever. The whole thing.
Right, that was odd, yeah.
But then I felt like Anaya was bonding with Riley. I think it's Riley.
Yeah.
The sort of gentler one. And then she even rushes him outside and he immediately attacks her. And then so I feel like that's where it starts to get kind of Tarantino, where it's now we're just having a bloodbath. I'm not sure I feel like
well, especially that Anaya, gets him out the house and is like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't want any of this to happen. And he thanks her, calmly. He's like, thank you. And then immediately grabs her throat and is like, whoa!
Right. So I'm not sure I understood all of those decisions in a storytelling way. But again, I sort of felt like everyone was more... They're not really necessarily behaving every time as genuine, specific people, but more as archetypes of something, I can see in this whole kind of way. So let's see. I was gonna say a couple of things. One, that Anaya is continually overlooked in different ways. Her name is spelled wrong on the sign, at the mother's house.
Right.
The letter was not addressed to her. It was only addressed to Racine. And people say, oh, it's because you're sensitive. And then people don't want to look her in the face,
Right.
But I was going to say that the title is God Is. Again, I feel like I can easily go to a video after this and find out exactly what everything is meaning, but it feels to me like continuity. A verb of being is, and then God, and then is on either side. A verb being surrounding God. And if God is the mother because she created them, then it's kind of like continuity on either side of the mother. And like Anaya becomes a mother, she's going to be a mother.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So in a sense, she is becoming God. And if fire is not only representing like passion and emotion, but also transformation and rebirth, then like maybe it's kind of about the power of mothers to transform and break cycles. When she's like holding her baby at the end, she's now the god, and she's kind of been freed from, as bittersweet as it is, she's been freed from like her connection. They keep her connection to the tragedy, like maybe she can finally start moving forward. One of the things they keep doing in the movie is like putting ice. They take turns putting ice on each other's burned sections. And I just Googled that, and it turns out that putting ice on burns and scars actually can reverse the healing process, and because it decreases the blood flow to the affected area. So essentially, like, the dynamic that they had was not really like leading to healing.
Oh, wow.
And that's maybe just like symbolically represented by like icing the burns. And then I was thinking like I don't want to cry in this, but like,
but
I might. So anyway, I guess I'm saying like your baby. So like years ago, I remember taking my baby to visit someone in the hospital, and my son, who was like a few years old, was old enough to know that somebody in the hospital with like tubes and everything all in their nose and everything was terrifying, and he didn't want to go in the room. But my baby just smiled with delight at this person I was visiting, who was and she was this old woman with tubes in her nose and everything, and she that reception, that look of like just appreciation, and like a baby looking at you with like happiness and acceptance, and not this critical eye, that basically Anaya has seen from every single person in her life. This is going to be the first person who's going to know her from the get-go and look at her face with so much love and appreciation.
Right.
And it's going to be the beautiful face of her mother, this baby looking up at her mother. So I think like, to me, like, that's the stuff I was getting out of it. It was like in a lot of ways like a really like brutal road trip of that was filled with dread. But I think like that, for me, that's ultimately, it was about Anaya getting to be Anaya on her own, and maybe break this cycle of tragic violence and start a whole new energy with her own child.
Yeah. Awesome. I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
All right.
So, let us know what you thought.
Yes. Cheers.
Bye.